Do you think we can do this all in one take?
Yes.
Let's do it. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us, and Merry Christmas. Today we are going to give you some Christmas ideas, because everybody needs those.
Yeah, I love Christmas, and I hate trying to figure out what to buy for people. But I do like buying gifts for people.
And board games.
And I love board games, sure.
So we are going to give you some board game ideas for Christmas.
Yep. Ideas for the little ones, ideas for family, and ideas for serious board gamers. So, again, this isn't going to be an exhaustive list, but we'll give you some quick ideas.
Yep. Let's jump into it.
Sweet. So let's start with...
So we're going to start with younger group games.
Okay. So, like, my youngest is 8, so kind of in that range where we want to start.
My youngest is 4, so that doesn't really apply to a lot of these games. So
sure.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Castle Panic, though. Super fun game, cooperative. My kids really enjoy it. You work together to kill monsters, roll dice. There's strategy involved. Anyways, we have a lot of fun with it.
And it doesn't cost a lot of money either.
It's pretty inexpensive.
Fairly inexpensive, and it's a fun game. Can your kids play it by themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't need Dad to play with them?
They don't need Dad, but they always like playing with Dad.
Sure. Okay. Next up, we got King of Tokyo. Sorry for the glare. We'll put another shot in there if we need to. But King of Tokyo, I really like this game. It's a roll your dice, 2 to 6 player, and you try to battle for the center of the control of Tokyo, and you get hit points, victory points, and I don't know. It's fun. You have cards to help you attack the other players and kick them out of Tokyo, and it's
competitive. You're attacking each other.
Yeah, it's competitive. It's fairly simple. Not a lot to it, but it's a lot of fun because it can beat each other up in the game.
And it's pretty quick, too.
Yeah, also fairly inexpensive, but a great game for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked playing it as well, so I say for kids, but I really enjoy it too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, these are games that we also enjoy playing with our kids. Yeah. I mean, sure, you can go buy Candyland, but I don't want to play Candyland.
Ain't nobody got time for Candyland.
Labyrinth.
Should we talk about the stupid games we don't recommend? Monopoly, Clue, Candyland.
Pass. Labyrinth. This game is quite unique. You move your pieces around the board, and it's got magnets underneath, and you're trying to find the secret path. My kids love this game. It's very creative, adventurous, problem-solving, and I mean, like we said before, I enjoy playing it as well.
So there's a hidden magnet under the board. They can't see it.
Yeah, so
right?
The piece has a magnet in it, and it attaches to a steel ball, but there are like boards in between that prevent you from going certain directions, so you have to find the hidden path as you go. So
awesome.
It's really fun.
The Magic Labyrinth.
Exactly.
How expensive is it?
It's pretty inexpensive as well.
Good.
Yeah, the best kind.
All right. So this game is a role-playing game for youngsters. It says ages 5 and up. If your kids have an imagination, this game is amazing. It is similar to Dungeons and Dragons in that it's a role-playing game. You set up a scenario, and you tell your kids.
You've got a character sheet.
Yeah, you tell your kids what the scenario is, and they tell you with their, just use their imagination. They tell you how they want to proceed with that scenario. If they want to fight the monster, if they want to run away, if they want to hide, whatever it is. This is a lot of fun for the little ones, but obviously an older person has to be involved with this game. And it's mid-price range. It's kind of expensive. It's $50, I think.
Something like that.
But it's well worth it. This is an awesome game to get your little ones and like running wild with their imagination.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, Ice Cool.
Ice Cool.
Yep. I love this one. Jet, my little one, loves this one too. This is a dexterity game. for you flick these little penguins around this board. What's awesome is maybe we'll have to show it later, but the box comes apart. There's boxes and boxes, and you set up this little arena with doorways in it, and you flick these little penguins around, and you try to catch fish. And it's a lot of fun because the kids get to be a little bit rambunctious when they're flicking these little penguins around. But it's won a lot of awards too, as you can see. And
they show them proudly.
Another game is fairly inexpensive. Not a game that I would play with my friends, but Jet, the little ones like to play it with their other friends, and you don't need to be there to play it with them either.
Cool.
So we're going to step it up.
Moving on to more advanced games.
In between games, maybe?
Yeah, some in between games.
Okay.
We have Pandemic, which it's recommended 8+. I don't think a bunch of 8-year-olds could play the game by themselves.
Maybe not by themselves.
But they can definitely play with adults.
There you go.
Cooperative game, working for an objective. We've done other reviews on this, so if you want to know more about this game, check out our other reviews.
Yeah, it's a shorter game too, less than an hour to play it. I mean, the first time you play any game, it's going to take a while, but once you know the rules, figure it out.
And there's tons of expansions and alternate games, and if you're really liking the game, you can go for a campaign, Legacy Pandemic.
How appropriate is it for this year?
Right? And it is perfect. A little too perfect. I'm not going to lie.
It's a really fun game, though.
But it is fun.
Cure diseases, 100%, all day. All right, so we're getting a little bit more complicated here. So this is called Stuffed Fables. This is an adventure game, like a chapter game, basically. 13 different stories that you play, and each story takes an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's a pretty long game.
It's pretty lengthy.
But it's for younger kids as well. I really like this game too. This is a game that I would play with my friends, just without the kids, without the family, but it's also something that the younger kids can play. I mean, they have these stuffed animals that go on adventures and fight these bad monsters that try to protect their owner, this little girl, from the baddies at night. And it's got a really awesome story that you read, and these adventures that these little characters go on, and decisions that they have to make. They roll the dice, and they pull dice out of the bag, so there's a lot of risk involved, and it's just a lot of adventure for them. And you can play it several times, and every time you play it, different things are going to happen. You're going to meet different people, come across different stuff, and it's just the artwork is awesome. Anyway, this game is awesome, and so the little ones can't play it by themselves, I don't think. But
need an adult to
I definitely
help guide
need
them.
an adult to help them. But this is a little bit more expensive too. This is about $55-$60, and again, worth it. But if that's your price range, this will last a long time too.
Good family game.
Yes, for sure. All right, Clank. This is a deck building adventure, as it says right on the box. This is a little bit older. It says ages 13 and older. I mean,
I feel like younger kids could play it too. But
yeah, a lot of. I mean,
maybe they would miss some of the strategy, but
yeah,
I'm surprised to see that it says 13 and older.
Yeah,
to be honest,
you can. Well, you're used to playing your advanced game, so
right. This
is going to be super easy.
My
for
advanced games also say 13 and older, and I agree with that.
Oh, okay. This game is fairly, I guess, mid-range price again. 40, 50, I think, right now. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun, though. You take your little guys, your meeples, whatever they're called, and you dive down into the dungeon. You look for treasures, and the whole time you're drawing cards and making your deck different than your opponent's deck, and trying to get the most treasures, trying to get more treasure than your opponent, and then get out of the dungeon, out of the depths, and back out of the castle as fast as you can. It takes about an hour and a half to play. It's a lot of fun, and honestly fairly simple. I would agree. 13 is probably too. I mean, an 8-9-year-old can play it with an adult
with help. Yeah
they might miss some of the strategy, like you said, but it's a lot of fun, and good price range too.
Next up, Power Grid. This game is probably one of the more complicated strategy games that I've played. economy-based game. You're trying to power as many cities as you can, and power more than your opponent. So you buy resources and buy new power plants and spread your network throughout the map and stuff like that. And anyways, it's super fun, super high strategy. It's also quite a long game, like probably 2+ hours. 13 plus is the recommended age. I agree with that. I think probably a 13-year-old might even struggle with some of the in-depth strategy. But
so does it remind you at all of the train game? What the heck's that called?
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
The board kind of looks similar,
Yeah.
but the play style is they're not even not even the same thing.
The only similar part I would say is where you're trying to block pathways for.
Yeah, so you can block pathways of people, and everything has to connect, but that's about it. But
yeah,
up to 6 players though, so
yeah, that's nice.
Which is a bit unusual for advanced games like this, but it's tons of fun
because we don't know that many smart people, so they don't make those games.
Most games are only up to 4 players, so
yeah.
This is a good one to get a little bit beyond that. But
yeah,
anyways,
awesome,
fun game.
So many good Christmas ideas coming at you,
and we don't even have dice thrown out here.
I know, huh?
We got to get dice thrown.
Yeah, we do. Okay, this is another one of my favorites. Mice and Mystics. There's like 10 or 11 chapters that you read the story, and your guys go on these adventures, and they have these tiles that you set out, and you have these little mice that are going on an adventure to find cheese and beat rats, and it's a lot of fun. The story makes it more fun, and the quality of the game pieces it's amazing. The whole thing is great, and I think the story is what makes it the most fun. So an adult can play this game with their little ones as well because the story's so good. They're gonna probably have to help younger kids like 7, 8 to help them kind of figure out
how kids as young as 7, 8 can still play.
Yeah, you might have to help them figure out how to move their pieces and stuff like that, depending on how often your kids play games. So yeah. Anyway, this is a game that I would definitely play with my friends and my buddies and my family and my kids too. So this is an awesome game.
Good, well-rounded game.
Yeah, and good price range too, for sure.
Descent.
Okay, so we're getting into the little bit heavier.
Yes.
A lot heavier games.
A lot heavier. So this is a dungeon crawler game. You're fighting monsters, rolling dice, stuff like that. You can play it. There is an app version that you can play where the bad guy is controlled by the computer, so you can have 4 people playing against the computer, or one person can take on the role of the overlord.
Yeah, that's what I really like about this game is that you have an app that is your artificial intelligence, your AI that's playing the bad guy. Yeah. So you can play 2 guys on the same team, co-op, but you're playing against the computer, which is really kind of cool.
So it's a lot of fun.
And it's difficult.
It is difficult. There are a lot of rules here.
Yes. So if your friends play games a lot, this is a really good game Christmas idea for them.
One of my favorite dungeon crawlers.
And so many expansions for this thing.
There are so many expansions. Tons.
And money grabbers.
Some of them the different expansions add a couple new characters, new maps, new campaigns, new quests, new treasures, new weapons. Like, very cool.
So you get this for them for Christmas this year. And then next year you get an expansion, and then the next year you're set up forever. Right? You just keep getting expansions for them.
You're good for years. Awesome game though.
This is Red Dragon Inn 5, the character trove. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 inside here. So what they've done is they've built this big character trove for all of their versions or expansions that they have, and you can store everything in this box. I'm not even halfway full of this box, and there's a lot that
maybe you're halfway empty.
I am halfway empty. This game, Red Dragon Inn 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, they're all awesome. 1 to 4 players. The more expansions that you have, you can play that many players. So right now I can play I think 18 players, at once.
That's a lot of people.
I don't have that many friends, so I have never played that many at once.
Also, why would you want to play with that many friends?
We did.
The game would go on for hours.
We did play this game with about 12 people one night.
That's true.
And it was a lot of fun, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to anyway. Well, that's a discussion for another day. This game is a drinking. I mean, not a real drinking, but it's a drinking and gambling fantasy game. It's really funny. These guys have gone on these adventures, and they come back to the Red Dragon Inn where they gamble with these coins, and they have these drink cards where you drink, and the person who lasts the longest wins. So whoever has the most money, whoever loses their money is out, and whoever gets too drunk or loses all their fortitude, they get knocked out of the game too. Last man standing. It's a really fun game. I don't personally drink or gamble, but I play this with my kids, and it's a lot of fun. And the each game is fairly inexpensive too. So, like Red Dragon Inn 1, I think it's like $25 or $30 each box or whatever. So it's a really good price. It's a family game if you're okay with having that theme around your kids.
That's true.
So anyway, it's a lot of fun.
Next up, we have Dice Throne, which, again, you can check out other videos and watch us play and review.
Yeah, this is Dice Throne Season 2. These are awesome gifts.
They are.
Because they're inexpensive. A 2-player game.
$18 to $26 for one.
Depending on where you find it. Yeah. So for this one, that one, each.
And you only need one to play.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you can mix and match your players. The nice thing about this, though, is you have cards to do strategy. But if you don't want to use the cards, you can have your younger ones just use the dice and do attacks that way. And so it makes it easier for them. They don't really have to read a whole lot and figure out the rules. But
if you can play Yahtzee, you can play this game.
Yeah, for sure. But this is way better than Yahtzee.
So much better than Yahtzee.
And I mean, you can play this with your buddies and your family, and your kids can play it against your kids. I mean, it's a well-rounded game.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I introduced this game to my brother-in-law, and he went and bought all 4 of them that night. So, very cool game.
That's typically how it works. When I introduce this to people and they play it, they go, "Man, that was really fun," and they go buy it.
Yep.
So it's that good. And
super cool.
Inexpensive.
Yep.
Okay.
Last but not least,
I mean, if we're gonna go,
you can't have a recommendation video without recommending the number one game according to BoardGameGeek.com.
Oh, I love this game so much. I'm in love with this game for reals.
But it is expensive. It is an investment of both time and money.
Yes, each game takes an hour. I guess it depends. It takes an hour, but there are like 90 plus scenarios in here to play. Setup takes a while because there's a lot of pieces, but this is a dungeon crawler. Mm-hmm. Each scenario is completely different. The monsters are different.
Lots of different characters to choose from,
and it's kind of like a legacy game in that as you progress, you get to open more boxes and you get to open new characters,
gain new abilities and stuff like that as you go.
It's awesome, but it's got a heavy price tag on it. I think it's $125 right now.
About that. I've seen it as high as $175.
So. You can wait though. You can wait.
True.
If you do see it online for around $100 right now, grab it. It is an awesome game, and it is definitely for people who play games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say for sure teenagers and up.
Yeah. Definitely not for the little ones. It's way too complicated.
Yeah. Lots of rules.
But an awesome gift.
Super fun.
If you want to spend that kind of money on somebody, they might just keep it for themselves if you buy
it. If you have a gamer on your Christmas list that doesn't own this game and you got them this game, you would win Christmas.
Yeah, you just won Christmas for sure.
Not that it's a competition or anything.
It's such a competition. So there's so many games that we haven't shared, but we just wanted to give you guys a quick Christmas list of games between the ages of 8 and up or whatever. We just wanted a good variety of different games.
Yeah. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that gave you some ideas.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Have a Merry Christmas.
Bye, guys.
You know where I store all my dad jokes?
In your database?
In my database!
Thanks for joining our Christmas special. I'm TJ, and this is Aaron. He's Santa Claus.
That was weird.